knows what's
See,
going
they
on.
trying to send him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present that tape.
It's great. I'm watching him, he's with my man Charlie Mack. So Charlie was with me every step of the way. First out the limo. So Charlie has been with me, 30 years coming up in the business. So, he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love.
For years, Bryshere Gray stayed quiet while the internet filled in the blanks. Now he's finally speaking on why his name got tangled up with Will Smith in a way Hollywood never wanted discussed. Now, it ain't news that Bryshere was the breakout star of Empire. Fame, money, momentum, he had it all. Then everything collapsed. Arrests, public breakdowns, mental health struggles, and a career that went from promising to completely stalled. Fans have been asking the same question ever since. What really happened to that kid? The legal trouble only deepened the mystery. A domestic violence case landed him behind bars, with reports of erratic behavior that didn't match the polished image people remembered. Bryshere pushed back with his own side, but the damage was done. Then came the social media spiral. Explicit posts, disturbing content, and a man clearly screaming for attention in a way that couldn't be ignored. And that's when Jaguar Wright stepped in. According to Jaguar, Bryshere's downfall wasn't random. She claims Will Smith inserted himself into Bryshere's life under the guise of mentorship, then allegedly pulled him into darker industry circles connected to Diddy with pressure to stay quiet, not sue, and not expose what happened behind closed doors.
Like Uncle Will, who is best to give you advice? And it's Will Smith, and I'm getting so much good advice. I got my first acting role, Empire, and it's changing my life. And it's like I'm listening from the greatest, and it's like making me well prepared to work with Taraji and Terrence Howard,
If he needs prayer, I don't even know what's
See,
going
they
on.
trying to send him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Okay.
I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids. That would just be in bad taste. Baby oil on babies.
You can't say that the flavor camp was sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. You just come on. Come on.
Starting to sound that way, ain't it?
Then, Brother Bilal stepped into the conversation, and that's when things really shifted. Bilal wasn't just some random internet commentator. He was someone who claimed closeness to Will Smith, someone who said he'd been inside the circle. According to him, Bryshere's breakdown didn't surprise him at all. He said Bryshere had confided in him privately, describing emotional devastation, confusion, and feeling exploited by powerful men in the industry. Bilal claimed Bryshere told him he'd been taken advantage of and humiliated, left carrying trauma he didn't know how to process.
Chicago for Empire, it's a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy, right? He's out there allegedly with male. He's pissing in the trailer. He's acting psychotic, right?
The same thing he's doing now.
Beyond that. But this is why a show is going on, right? So I'm like, I pull him to the side, right? And I said, listen, I'm here to help you and so forth and so on. So he was like, all right, I feel that. He said, everybody on the set know you. Everybody seem like they love you. Okay. I want to love you because everybody else love you. I said, if that's what you want to do, then do it. But he kept acting up. And then one day I said, what the F is wrong with you? And he was like, you know. He said, you know Will me. You know Diddy made me. You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me. And I said, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. So he crying, no blood is coming from his nose. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I'm like, yo.
Again, allegations, but the consistency of the stories made people uncomfortable. And the reason folks didn't brush it off is because the DL rumors surrounding Will Smith have been floating for years. This wasn't the first time whispers popped up. According to Bilal, those whispers became real the day he walked into something he says he can't unsee. He claimed he caught Will Smith in a compromising situation with actor Dwayne Martin, something that completely shattered the public image Will had carefully built. Bilal said the moment froze him in place.
So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having It's with Will.
Let me process that for a second. Who was on top?
It wasn't a top. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up. Murder. It was murder in there.
Okay. What did you do?
I froze. What did you, see, I'm not used to seeing. Listen, it's traumatizing. Like I've never seen it. I don't watch gay porn. You know, I never seen a man, the man.
Will Smith was bent over,
and Dwayne was killed. I don't know. I don't.
You didn't look that close.
Listen, even when I was with the deer and headlights, and I finally said, "Oh shit," and they turned around and said, "Close the fucking door," right? So I back out the door. I'm not going in there. No, I ain't going up in there. I back out the door, lock the door, I leave, right?
What made it darker was what followed. Bilal said Will didn't call to explain or deny anything. He allegedly called to warn him. The tone, according to Bilal, shifted from friendly to threatening. He referenced an old industry story involving a trans woman named Shalimar, allegedly connected to Eddie Murphy, and hinted at how quickly people tied to uncomfortable truths can disappear or have their lives ruined. No direct threat, just enough to make the message land, stay quiet.
So Will says, "I gotta talk to you." So I said, "About what?" He said, "You know what?" And I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." And he said, "Oh, you know what I'm talking." I said, "Well, I have no idea. What are you talking about? What we need to finish today? Like, I'm trying to get that out." So he said, "No, we need to talk." So he said, "Listen, I made a call. Some papers are gonna come here today. I need you to sign them." And I said, "Why am I signing papers?" And he said, "Listen, I'm trying to protect you." So he says 3 things that made me scared, because I fear no man but Allah. But I don't fear nothing but Allah. And he said that, "You remember the I'm saying it right, who got caught with Eddie Murphy." He said, "You know what happened to him, right?" And I had no idea what happened to the trans got caught in the car with Eddie Murphy.
Me either. What happened?
So I go home and Google it. They or the trans, I don't know to say him or her. I don't know what's politically correct. So I hope I'm not offending anyone.
From that point on, Bilal said he realized this wasn't about friendship, but control, reputation, protecting a billion-dollar image at all costs. When his claims went public, Will and Jada responded aggressively. Will called the allegations lies. Jada dismissed Bilal entirely, framing him as a clout chaser, trying to shake them down for money. She hinted legal action was coming, making it sound like a lawsuit was inevitable.
Yeah.
How does it feel in 2023 to still have those same rumors out about people you love, like Will and Dwayne?
I know.
That just came out too recently.
Yeah, you know, and let me just say this. It's ridiculous, right? And it's nonsense. And this is a person that tried a shakedown, a money shakedown that didn't work. We're gonna take legal action. Because it's one thing to have your opinion about somebody versus just making up salacious, malicious stories. So that's actionable, so we're gonna roll with that.
But then nothing happened. Bilal didn't backpedal. He doubled down, publicly dared them to sue him, said he had receipts, witnesses, and evidence ready for court.
You said I extorted you. You said as a money shakedown. You said a lot of things about me to get other networks or other podcasters or bloggers scared for me to come on because they think they're gonna be sued. Well, Tasha wasn't sued and I wasn't sued. So you got 2 weeks to issue an apology because me and Will's situation were about business. And I want you to sue. If not, Jada, I'ma sue you. I'ma sue you because you know that you're a liar and you know that the things that you said were untrue.
Weeks passed, months passed, nearly 2 years passed. No lawsuit, no follow-up, just silence. And recently, Bilal reappeared on Tasha K's platform and repeated every claim with the same confidence, reminding everyone that nobody had taken him to court yet because they know he's speaking the truth.
You called her a dope fiend.
Yeah, I called her bald-headed dope fiend without question. I told her she better sue me because
she said to TMZ when they asked her when she left the Breakfast Club,
yes,
she looked, they was like, well, what do you got to say? And she was like, we're suing. we're suing. And I was just like, okay.
Right.
That's been about 2 years.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten a lawsuit yet.
2 hours.
Okay.
And I said some pretty, what some people may think to be outrageous things, but I knew them to be true and had the evidence to be, to show that it was true. So from that, that's when Jada responded out of anger, not out of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Because for her to be a global iconic superstar, you rushed to the Breakfast Club to say, number one, that I extorted you, there was a money shakedown. You said you didn't have all the facts. So that puts you in legal jeopardy right now. You said all the facts will come out. None of the facts came out.
Now, some folks say Bryshere's career collapse is just part of the so-called Empire curse. And honestly, when you look at that cast, the theory doesn't sound crazy to people online. Terrence Howard walked away from acting. Taraji P. Henson spoke openly about being underpaid, burned out, and having nothing lined up after the show ended.
And I heard on the street, Taraji, you had the audacity to say you're thinking about stopping acting. We said, stop talking. Are you thinking about it?
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. Well, have to. The math ain't mathing.
Jussie Smollett's career imploded after his legal scandal. Empire was massive, but almost nobody came out unscathed. Bryshere, though, took the hardest hit of them all. Whether you believe in curses or not, one thing is clear. Whatever mentorship Bryshere received in those circles did not end well. And it wasn't just him. August Alsina's name keeps circling back into the same conversation. August was already dealing with serious health issues, emotional pain, and instability when he entered Will and Jada's orbit. Jada was framed as a healer, a guide, someone offering spiritual support. According to August himself, that dynamic turned into a relationship that left him emotionally wrecked. He said Will knew, said Will approved.
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, not involving romanticism. He gave me his blessing. And I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her.
But when the dust settled, August wasn't healed. He was broken. And when Jada labeled it an entanglement on Red Table Talk, the internet laughed, while August quietly became collateral damage, destroyed and left hurt.
You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we basically, we broke up.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement.
Street Talk says August didn't just end up in Diddy's circle by accident. Folks believe Will introduced him, and from there, things allegedly got darker. Not just music connections, but exposure to the same secretive party culture that's followed Diddy for decades. Will denied ever attending those events when Diddy's legal situation exploded, but people aren't convinced. And once people started digging into Diddy's past, the grooming allegations resurfaced. Usher living with him as a teenager, Justin Bieber being introduced to him at 13, clips that once looked playful now feel uncomfortable.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Patterns started emerging, and that's where the theory took shape, that Will learned from Diddy, learned how power shields itself, learned how mentorship can become leverage, and then allegedly repeated that cycle with Bryshere, with August, and even his own son, Jaden.
As far as Will Smith is concerned, until he does right by all of those children that were harmed and corrupted while in his care, children that grew up to be men, boys like Bryshere Gray, August Alsina, your own son. Like, your own son. Do people forget about that voice clip that I played from Brother Belial?
Now, nothing been fully proven yet, but the overlaps are hard to ignore, and Will's silence since Diddy's downfall has only poured gasoline on the fire. No outrage, condemnation, or distancing, just quiet. Folks are asking why. Why protect someone you claim you weren't close to? Why do so many young men around the same circles spiral the same way? At this point, the conversation isn't even about anymore. It's about power, control, and image management. And who gets protected when the truth gets uncomfortable? Nobody's saying this is all fact, but the streets don't talk for no reason. Too many stories overlap. Too many outcomes look the same. Too many people break after touching the same rooms. One user wrote, "Yay, Will Smith got a whole lot of explaining to do. He's a real snake." Another hit hard saying, "Poor Bryshere Hollywood F him up bad. Lee Daniels, Will Smith, and Diddy did him in bad." So what really happened behind those doors? Was mentorship actually manipulation? Did Bryshere ever have a real chance? And how many other stories are still buried because speaking up costs too much? Let's hear your take in the comments. And if you're all about straight up shockers and unfiltered moments, don't miss what's coming next. Click through and stay locked in.